Welcome to another installment of 5 Minute Tones. I hope you guys are all doing really well. To celebrate some of the new additions in firmware 12.03 for the Axe FX 3, and to celebrate my general love of Yngwie Malmsteen, we're going to do an Yngwie Malmsteen inspired 5-minute tones. But first... there you go. There's like the Walmart version of Malmsteen. I'm playing my YJM Strat, which has some stacked Damasio single coils, and this is what I did to get that particular sound. It's not trying to cop a particular era or a particular record. It's more just trying to use the elements that he uses to go for a kind of similar vibe. So let's take a look. I have chosen one of the 50-watt Plexi models. Yngwie is notorious for using the 50-watt, old school kind of Plexi heads. In a massive wall behind him as well, wherever he goes, which is quite impressive. So this is the Plexi 50-watt high number 2. This is the one that I think just got me closest to the kind of overall character the quickest, and I'm using it with my old mate, this TV mix cab that I made of my Marshall with greenbacks. I think Yngwie uses the 75-watt Celestions now and not greenbacks, but it's kind of close enough. Like I said, inspired by, in the preamp section, the low cut and high cut filter slopes are at 12 dB per octave, and I'm cutting below 80 and above 6550. I don't know why it's 6550 and not 6500, but let's go with it. This is what it sounds like at the stock settings. Oh, that is stanky. That's just a straight, great Marshall Strat, kind of like a Ritchie Blackmore thing at the moment. And to Yngwieify it, we're going to do two things. We're going to add a plate reverb. Here's one I prepared earlier. This is the London plate. Stock settings, except I'm going to turn the mix up to 30%. This gives you a nice kind of sort of spacious, wet sensation. And the final piece of the puzzle, this was added in one of the latest Axe FX firmwares, the DoD 250 overdrive preamp emulation. Malmsteen just turns both controls all the way up, so let's do that. And you get a pretty nice kind of singing lead tone on the neck pickup with this. Which is really, really nice. All I would add to that, I guess, is maybe a delay. I've got this new mode, again, the Stereo Mind Guy, mix at 25%, time at 600 milliseconds, stock otherwise. This is like a cheat code on your guitar if you're like me and, you worship Yngwie, but you probably aren't going to put in all the work to sound as good as him. There's like a nice little kind of buffer. And to cap everything off, I have just got a Crybaby wah sitting in here. I've set up the auto engage. Little tip, if you want to auto engage with your toe down, turn the off value to 95%. I've got my FC controller hooked up with an expression pedal connected to port number 1. And this is just a nice kind of thing to have on there. I know Yngwie isn't really known as a wah guy, but he worships Ritchie Blackmore and Jimi Hendrix, and you can hear the Hendrix influence with this kind of stuff. There you go. 5-minute tones inspired by Yngwie Malmsteen. Some of you were asking for it. This is about as close as I can get. Hopefully you can use some of these tips in your own playing, but the most important part of sounding like Yngwie Malmsteen is being Yngwie Malmsteen. Having that great vibrato, having those licks. I mean, you can practice as much as you like. You can even go and buy a Ferrari, but, he's just such an iconic guitar player with such an over-the-top personality and charisma that comes through in his playing. And I mean, if anything else, just listen to his vibrato because it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you next time.